What's up, everybody? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And, well, this is going to be a deep one, and we're going to talk about these BW, the B-dub, um, as Black Ram 313 would say, who threw away femininity and Afro men, right? Who are now angry at passport bros, the very ones they rejected. So let that sink in for a minute. The very dudes, the good dudes that they rejected, that's who they're angry at because these men are finding successful relationships outside of the black woman. And it's proving two things. It's proving, one, the toxicity of the so-called B-dub in the United States. And how this is doing is the vitriol that these women are sending throughout, right? And then it's showing also that the Afro man is desired outside of the United States almost in every culture he goes to. And really desired, with the exception in Africa, where the women in Africa warn Afro men that if you come there and get a woman, right, stay there. All right, because it's their culture. Okay, African woman, look. A lot of women around the world are seeing the value of the Afro man in the United States. They are seeing the creativity of the Afro man in the United States. Even in the Philippines, one of the most ardent supporter of men in general leaving the U.S. is this, that the Philippines treat men better because of their culture, right? And then she put out a PSA for Afro men specifically, because the other thing that the Philippines want is not just money, but they want offspring that will be taught all the things that we created over here, because they realized that the Afro men created dominance in sport, created music, created this artistic ability. All these people pop locking, all of these people having these dance competitions. No, those are the old school hip hop things that were created by the Afro men in America that the black woman threw away. These other women say, you don't want them, we'll take them and create a new culture of our own. And a dude said it best. The Philippines is about to have an Afro-Filipino mix with the punching power of Pacquiao and that Philly shuffle move of Mayweather. That's dangerous. But what's more dangerous is the black women are being left alone. And the more they speak, the more they get on TikTok, the more they exemplify why brothers should get the passports and leave them completely alone. Totally dangerous to us. Now, let me greet everybody real quick. Hola, oi, tudo Vassos los, bonjour, mes amis. Kedabawani konnichiwa. Ni hao ni ama, sani bonani, jumbo herbayagani. Assalamu alaikum and shalom. So, the brothers are not going to skip out on this. Some brothers that haven't been totally brain whipped, we're going to choose this over what's available in the United States. But let's look at what's available in the United States. Let me remind you, my Cash App and PayPal me is in the description box. Remember, you take care of yourself and family first before you donate to anyone. Take care of yourself and your family first before you donate to anyone. But if you can't donate, please share the video, and the least everyone could do is click that thumbs up button down there at the right. All right, y'all, help a brother out. Help a brother out by sharing the video too. Some of the time, the most help you do is by sharing the message and helping that algorithm along. All right. And brothers aren't really doing that. They're watching, but they're not really doing that. At least we could do that. And everything is free here. All right. But hey, help us out by doing that. Click that button. All right. So with that said, let's look at what they're offering us. Now, oh, this is gonna be date. They're gonna be date. Not this woman here. But we're gonna shut down this piece of argument here. But I want y'all to pay attention to the images.
Talk to the passport pookies that are all over this app talking about, I'm going to run away and never come back. I mean, y'all sound like a bunch of hurt little boys whose moms didn't give you the moon pie you wanted for a snack. I mean, why do you feel the need to talk to the passport pookies that are all over this app talking about, I'm going to run away and never come back? I mean, y'all sound like a bunch of hurt little boys whose moms didn't give you the moon pie you wanted for a snack. I mean, why do you feel the need to announce it? Just go. Goodbye and good riddance. But there's been a burning question in my mind. If you're going to take residence in another country, you have to learn and master their language. And my question to you is, how are you going to master
I'm laughing at this and the foolishness. Because me and him could have a conversation in the US with each other in the midst of a bunch of black women, and they would never understand us. Often when I forget that I'm in the US and now speak Portuguese, they'll ask me, what language are you speaking? I'll be like, oh yeah, that's right. But here's the thing. The dudes that are leaving are not the Pookies and Ray Rays going in and out of prison. That's who they love. All right. But I want you to understand the mentality. Because women like that are only accustomed to choosing thugs and dudes that have no jobs and dudes that do nothing, they now blanket the entire Afro male population, thinking that the total population is who they choose to open their legs up to, when the population that is leaving is the population that they never would have chosen in the first place. And why wouldn't they have not chosen them? Because the intelligence to learn a new language is lame to them. That working 9 to 5, no, if they're not a scammer or drug dealer, y'all seen the TikToks. Who do you want, scammer, drug dealer, or 9 to 5? Only like 2 women out of all the things. If you really look at it, about 98% of those women wanted either the scammer or drug dealer. All right, so the 9 to 5 guy is the guy that will learn a different language, travel to a different country, and get down like that. But see, they don't understand it. And they don't get it. Right? Now, when we look at this, I want y'all to understand something. These females have no clue, and some do. But in any case, if you look at what they do, I see no difference between the racist white man that used to call the Afro man boys and the black women who do it now. I see no difference. Think about that. Remember that you see it, boy. And who does that now? The black woman. I keep telling y'all, they are the other side of that same coin. And here's another one of their arguments that we're going to shut down. And while you listen, just look at the thing. Pay attention to the numbers in the orange, and then the ones in a slightly green at the bottom. I'll explain that in a minute. Oh, no. I didn't want to. I wanted to just show you. All right? Pay attention to this.
Get out there to keep hollering about they going out of the country to get the Go. Go out of the country to find your wife. This is not the flex you think it is. I have seen this happen in real life, where a woman will be everything a man needs to get her citizenship, and the minute she does, she's kicking rocks. Y'all about to be some dummies. Because the same standards we have, the same standards they have. Y'all just too stupid to know about it.
Now, to her point, no, we're not. See, let's do the numbers here. Okay. To get a visa, let's say we pay for a visa. All right. For a woman, all right, they don't believe in all that fancy marriage stuff down there like that. All right, but let's say you do that. All right, so let's say, and when we say green card, they're talking about Southeast Asia. They're not talking about the Colombianos. They're not talking about the Brazilian women. All right, this is an attack on the Filipinas. And these women know that. As a matter of fact, the Filipinas are feeling the heat from them. And so the Filipinas are firing back. They're saying, come on over, Afro man. You don't need to be with them toxic women. We will treat you right. All right. So let's say we go over there and get one of them. Okay. We'll be out of a plane ticket was about $2,000 maybe. We might be out of the visa money, but half the time they'll help pay for that for themselves. All right. And say they leave us. Well, they're not taking the house. They're not going to take our stuff. All right, but let's say we get with the black woman. We will lose our children. We will lose our house. And every opportunity they get to really stick the knife in us and twist it by taking us to family court to get more child support. All right, they're going to do that. If they get with the thug, they don't mind getting with the thug. It's because they realize or they think that they could get us to pay for the thug's child too. They'll go to court. I need more money from him because he's the one with the job, right? And I want y'all to understand something. This is how the courts are working. It's not about justice, and the black woman understand this. So that's why they'll take you to court to pay for somebody else's children, because the court said it's in the best interest of the children, but it's not in the best interest of the children. It's in the best interest of their money.
Out of the country to find your wife.
So if they
could
not
stick
the man
I've
with
seen
the
this
job,
happen in
with
real
somebody else's
life,
child
where a
support
woman
responsibility,
will
they will
be
do
everything a
that
man
at the drop
needs
of a hat.
to
That's why
get
you see
her
so many
citizenship.
news stories about how
And the minute she
ridiculously
does,
unfair
she's
this
kicking
is,
rocks.
that all these
Y'all
dudes
about
have to
to be
pay
some
child
dummies.
support that DNA
Because the
says
same
is not
standards
their
we
child.
have,
Because it's
the same
never
standards
been
they
about
have.
justice
Y'all
in the
just too
United
stupid
States.
to know
It's
about it.
never been about fairness in the United States. It's been about extortion of men for money. It's been about slave labor. And the B-dub is going to become the new slaves in this labor market. Because as soon as the men dip out, they're going to cut them wages. And that student loan debt is not going away. It was never going away. That's why they chose the path to make them vote for it. Oh, we're doing something about student loan debt. We're going to take this through the courts. And you couldn't take it through the courts because the courts would rule on the law that you signed the contract, so you must stick to the contract. All right, they knew that the banks was going to win that in court. That's why they took that method instead of doing like everything else, like they did with the Ukraine and do an executive order to give some relief. Oh, they had other tools. But I want y'all to look at this. All racial ethnic groups had more marriages than divorce. Other race women, including Asian, American Indian, Alaska Native, and multicultural women, had the highest marriage to divorce rate. So that means if we, Afro men, get with any other woman, we have a better chance at a successful marriage than with the black woman. Oh, let me finish reading. Meaning 3 women married in 2018 for every 1 woman who is divorced. The second highest ratio was found among Hispanic women, 2.5, followed by white women, and black women 1.6. All right, so let me point this out. You have a 3 success to 0, all right, 2.5 and 1.6. What does this mean? Well, if you look down at the bottom, look at what's in yellow. Black women were the only group that had a higher divorce rate than marriage rate, with nearly 31 divorces per 1,000 married women aged 15 and older. Only 17.3 marriages per 1,000 unmarried women. Y'all understand that? Almost, look at that. A higher divorce rate than marriage rate. The only group of women with a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. Let that sink in. So let's talk about hypocrisy here. So these black women go in on these shows, all right, to promote a false narrative of Afro men. All right. And they say it's the Afro men that aren't capable of loyal relationships. But DNA is showing that to be false. And then she goes and get a white man. But probably because not too many Afro men are trying to be with any kind of women like this. Period. And you know, they're promoting a narrative. Now, this is something that's more dangerous for us. This is on the show The Doctors, right? Women have always cheated more than men. When they do the stats, they talk about the people that admit cheating. The men will admit it way more than women will. So you can't use that metrics to say men cheat more than women. Because a lot of women, and let's not call it cheat, let's talk about really what it is. Women commit more adultery than men. And we are finding this out by looking at the DNA test of all these women who have multiple children from men other than the man that they are married to. All right, period. That hands down. Now, if you look at that, if you look at the evidence, so when you do a survey, when they're doing these surveys, they're asking people, all right, who cheats more, men or women? And the women say, we don't cheat. But the DNA tests are saying that they cheat more than men, or they commit adultery more than men. And then this doctor is saying it too.
Well, believe it or not, 70% of my patients who are cheating now are women. And yes, and the men say they don't see it coming. What happens is that the women get into this rut, they feel like they're not being appreciated, not being taken out, and they start seeking affection elsewhere.
70% of cheating is women when these doctors are telling it. So that is the real number, not these researchers that's asking who say, the women that are talking to these other women in confidence, talking to their doctors. All right. And now, well, what the doctors is trying to do is spin it and say, well, they're feeling in a rut, this, that, and the other. And that's because the women think it's the man's job to make them happy and be their slaves, and forget that it is their responsibility to be a helpmeet to the man. All right. So And let's break this down like this.
All these women saying they can get their passports too, I don't think they realize how crazy foreign men are. Like, you will get your head popped off if you come at your husband sideways. So if you're asking, like, can you get ran through? Sure, that's easy. The shit you do here in the States and how horribly you treat men, that won't fly overseas. So good luck with that.
All right. So not only will that not fly overseas, right? But if you notice, when black women are traveling, they're traveling for a get vacation. Black women and white men have been traveling. White men have been spreading seeds all over the world. How do you think they got to all these countries? All right. But the only people that are called names, that are called predators, that are called rapists,
All
are
these women saying
Afro
they can
men,
get their
and we're called that
passports too,
specifically by
I don't think they
black
realize how
women and their
crazy foreign men
cronies.
are. Like, you will
They're
get your
simp
head popped
minions.
off if you come at
All
your
right.
husband
While
sideways.
they get
So if
run
you're
through by
asking, like,
everybody,
can you
they go
get
to
ran
Jamaica
through?
and get
Sure,
run
that's
through.
easy.
They go
The
to the
shit
Virgin
you do here
Islands
in
and
the
get run through.
States and
That's
how
why men
horribly you
don't
treat
go there.
men,
The Afro
that
men
won't
aren't going to
fly
Jamaica because they
overseas.
find
So
that
good
the
luck with
women
that.
there are like, have the same bad attitude as the so-called black women in the United States. That's why we're going to places. If you're noticing, brothers are acting strategically. And black women are finding that out the hard way. They're finding that out the hard way as they're being left alone. They go somewhere, get run through. Now they come back being left alone. When they travel alone, they are at risk the whole time they're alone. They have to give each other safety tips for traveling alone. They're traveling looking for a Caucasian man that's going to marry them. And all these men see them as a run through because this is how they put themselves out there. All right. Yeah. It's something to think about, y'all. Read this. This is the real anger that B-dubs have. They're angry at passport brothers because we have rejected the United States that they're in, and we're choosing these type of women over them. Period. They thought we weren't going to be able to get anyone. And we're saying we're not going to be their leftover has-beens. As they become has-beens and leftover, we ain't studying that. We ain't for that. Period. At the end of the day, the Afro man has nothing to gain by being with the black woman in the United States. She's not loyal. She told us she didn't need us. All right. She told us to be intelligent enough to speak another language. It's lame. All right. She told us we wasn't worth her time. All right. She told us go on, get gone. And then when we left, she called us predators. She called us rapists. Every evil and wicked name you can falsely leverage against an Afro man, she did that. All over TikTok. TikTok allows that, but they won't allow an Afro brother to tell the truth about incidences. All right. When other women see stuff like how movies are being racist and targeting Afro men for destruction, they get rid of that on TikTok. All right. The brothers are tired and we out. The women that's for brothers, they ain't going to have a problem getting with us because it's not about color. But these women never understood that. So they're dust. And that wall awaits.